This is an explanation of surface area and volumes of spheres, but first a little vocabulary. For a sphere, the radius is the distance from the center to an edge, and so a diameter is 2 radii, twice that distance. A great circle is a circle on a sphere such that it has as its center the center of the sphere. And they don't always have to be aligned this way. They can be aligned going diagonally if you prefer, sort of something like this. But the idea is that they're the biggest circles you can put on the sphere, whereas you've got a small circle. We're not going to deal much with small circles, and that would just be one that doesn't have as its center the center of the entire sphere. So as far as the formulas for spheres, here's a formula table of different three-dimensional shapes. Spheres have no lateral area because they have no bases. Their surface area is 4 pi r squared, where again r is radius. And note that this is exactly 4 times the area of a great circle. A great circle is going to be pi r squared. Surface area is 4 times that, 4 pi r squared. Now the volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. Because spheres only come in one shape, obviously spherical, they only depend upon the radius, whereas these other shapes will depend upon a base, a height, different things, more things, because they can come in different shapes, whereas spheres can be completely determined simply by the length of the radius. So now some examples. Okay, find the surface area of each sphere, round your answers to the nearest tenth. So your surface area is going to be 4 times pi times radius squared. So that's 4 pi times 196. So that's 2463.0, nearest tenth. So 2463. And this would be in inches squared because it's an area, so it's inches squared. Over here, if the diameter is 2, that implies that the radius is 1, so surface area is 4 times pi times 1 squared, which is 4 times pi. So 12.6 if you round it. So this is equal to 12.6, and that's centimeters squared. Now we have volume question. Diameter looks to be 14 miles, so therefore the radius is 7 miles. So the volume is 4/3 pi times 7 cubed. And we'll go to the nearest tenth again. Now depending upon your calculator, there's different ways to cube something. 4/3 pi, and then 7. Use this button for a power. 4/3 pi 7 cubed. 4/3 pi 7 cubed. And that is 1436.8. And this would be in miles cubed because now it's a volume. Okay, for one like 11, you're given the surface area, but you want to find the volume. So the first thing we want to do is set this equal to 4 pi r squared in order to get the radius. So we divide both sides by 4 pi. So 790 divided by 4 pi. So that's 7224, about 7224.8. And that's equal to r squared. And so to get r, you have to take the square root of both sides. So we'll take the square root of that answer. And so that comes out to, say, 85. And so say that this is a radius basically of 85. And so now the volume is 4/3 pi times 85 cubed. So that'll be a big number. So 4 divided by 3 pi, and then 85 cubed. So 257,245 7141. And this would be in centimeters cubed. We did have an area, but now we have a volume, so it's centimeters cubed. Okay. In this case, now it's the opposite. You're given a volume, you want to find the surface area. So we set this equal to 4/3 pi r cubed, and divide both sides by 4/3 pi. So we have 1200 divided by 4/3 pi. Oops. So 286.47, that's equal now to r cubed. So these cancel, but you're still left with r cubed. So we had 286.47 is about equal to r cubed. So we've got to take the cube root of both sides. Again, different calculators work different ways. For this calculator, one way to do it is to take the answer there and then take it to the 1/3 power. That's the same as taking the cube root of something. And so we get as our radius 6.592. So now we have as our radius is about 6.592. And so finally we can say that the surface area is 4 times pi times 6.592 squared. It's 4 pi r squared. So 4 times pi times the answer, 6.592 squared. And so that comes out to 546.1. So this is equal to 5. It's approximately 546.1. And we started in feet cubed for a volume, so now we're going to be in feet squared for a surface area. Okay, for number 17, a basketball's got a circumference of 75 centimeters. So remember the circumference, which is now 75 centimeters, is equal to 2 pi r. So we'll divide both sides by 2 pi. So 75 divided by 2 pi. And be careful here, notice I put this in parentheses. If I didn't put it in parentheses, it would divide by 2 but then multiply by pi. So our radius is 11.94 approximately. So now our surface area, actually our volume we're trying to find. Volume is 4/3 pi 11.94 cubed. So 4 divided by 3 pi, and then take the answer and we cube it. And so that comes out to about 7124. And this is, we started in centimeters, so it's a volume, so it'll be centimeters cubed.